All right, let's begin with the latest news break that is coming in. Viewers, earlier on, it wasn't published. There was a fair amount of speculation, but all of that laid to rest. Now, the full Supreme Court order copy on stray dogs has been published. The court emphasized how this is achieved is for the authorities to determine. Practically, that means the MCD, including creating a dedicated force if necessary, but stressed that there should be no lethargy or compromise in the execution of this task. It warned that any individual or organization obstructing the rounding up of stray dogs will face the strictest of action. The court made it clear that sentiments should not interfere with this process, as the directions are issued in larger public interest to ensure people, especially infants, children and the elderly, can move freely without the fear of dog bites, which could and may lead to rabies, a potentially fatal disease. The court further mandated that stray dogs be placed in dog shelters or pounds, which must be adequately staffed to ensure sterilization, deworming, immunization and overall care. These facilities must be monitored by CCTV to prevent unauthorized release of dogs, and cruelty or neglect of animals will not be tolerated. Dogs must not be starved or left unmonitored, and at least 2 responsible personnel should be present at all times under proper duty schedule. Vulnerable or weak stray dogs should be kept separately from the possible and timely medical care. Be trained veterinarian staff must ensure that. All right, so that's the latest news break that is coming in, viewers, and I want to cut across to Shrishti Oja, because Shrishti, earlier on there was a fair amount of speculation on what this order was, because today it was contended in court that even though the order wasn't published, dogs were being rounded up already. Would you take us through the main key points and the highlights of the order as now it's been published? What's important to note, Shrishti, that the Supreme Court has laid down the guidelines, practically what needs to be followed, but it is with the prerequisite authorities to determine how they will do it. The know and how will need to come from the MCD here.
Well, yes, Preeti, a lot of development has happened today as far as the stray dog issue, the stray dog case before the Supreme Court is concerned. Let me first take you through the order details, the specific directions that have come in from the top court. Firstly, the court has clearly directed Delhi government, MCD, NDMC, and also the authorities of Noida, Ghaziabad, Gurugram and Faridabad to at the earliest start picking up stray dogs from all localities. How they do it is something for the authorities to look into. Court has clearly said there should not be any lethargy or compromise in undertaking this exercise. If any individual or any organization comes in the way of this exercise, court has said that it will take strictest of actions. Clearly, again, court has said no sentiments should be involved in this entire exercise because these directions are being issued by the top court for larger public interest, and this action should also inspire confidence in minds of people that they can now move freely on the streets. Court has said that immediately dog shelters have to be created by authorities in 8 weeks, but it has also added that it's a progressive exercise. Therefore, the authorities have been asked to start by creating shelters for, let's say, 5,000 dogs in the next 8 weeks. As far as the well-being of dogs is concerned, the court has said that it is mindful that this entire exercise of rounding up and relocation of dogs has concerns of their well-being as well, which is why, as you also pointed out, specific directions have been issued, clearly stating that stray dogs will not be left completely unmonitored. There should be no overcrowding in the shelter homes. They should not be subjected to any cruelty, and they should also not be starved. As far as the second aspect, which is also very important now, Preeti, is that we saw this issue being mentioned before the top court today, after which a 3-judge bench has now been constituted to hear these cases again tomorrow, a newly constituted bench with different judges. Total of 4 matters are listed, including a PIL that has been filed against the rounding up of dogs, and also 2024 case which was mentioned earlier on the issue of dog bites. So it will be crucial to see whether the top court considers, this particular bench tomorrow considers revisiting its recent order, because it's not something that we see happening. It's something that's extremely rare, one bench modifying another bench's order. But what's also been pointed out that there are 2 conflicting SC orders as far as dog bites are concerned, which basically gives this new bench a scope to interfere in some manner if it wants to. Considering this present order has divided opinion nationwide, The court's
Okay.
move tomorrow will definitely be closely watched,
Okay.
and the picture
Two questions.
will be
You know,
clearer.
Shrishti, I just want to ask you two very quick questions. Number one, the Chief Justice of India today said he would look into it. What does it actually mean, and in what capacity will he look into the case? Because a lot of animal rights activists are taking that as something that the order can be relooked at. What does that mean? Number one. Number two, with this order published starting tomorrow, rounding up of stray dogs across the NCR region is going to start, correct?
Well, answering the second question first, Preeti, yes, as per this particular order, the directions have to be followed immediately. The court has itself called this an immediate action. The directives that are coming from the Supreme Court, so the rounding up and creation of shelters has to happen now that the order is out. As far as the first question is concerned, as I pointed out earlier, the matters were mentioned, two different cases regarding the stray dog issue were mentioned before the top court for listing. We saw the court say that, the CJI say in fact, that the matter, the bench has already, another bench has already issued some directions, post which an hour back we saw a new bench has been constituted, a 3-judge bench has now been constituted by the CJI to hear this issue again tomorrow.
Okay.
Whether or not they modify this particular order or the
Right.
order stays intact is something that we'll know tomorrow.
All right, Shrishti, appreciate you joining us with that quick update.